18th, 2010. I'm driving in my Malibu here. This is Gene Bosler. Right now it says service traction. This thing has an electronic traction control. For the purposes of diagnosis, my daily problem does not present itself when the traction control is shut off. Traction control will randomly shut itself off, and I'll get a warning light over here on the radio saying service traction, which means service the traction control. And I've got this down here, down that little idiot light above the temperature gauge. It says traction control is off. Well, the traction control is off because it shut itself off. And that's part of this problem. See, there's electronic steering which goes out. And the reason I'm documenting this is if I get killed by this car, because I'm going to lose control of it, the people at Firestone couldn't diagnose it. I had a passenger with me, Shane, a week before last, and I couldn't really get the problem to replicate itself. So anyway, I'm gonna do a series of videos. When I park this car, the traction control is gonna reset. When I get back in it, it won't be on, and then we'll get that problem back where we get the clicking sound, the AC, and the cruise control shut off, and power steering is lost. And then as soon as I do something like come out of my turn, the power steering and AC and cruise control will be restored. Anyway, at the moment, however, the problem is not presenting itself. As you can see, I just kind of punched the gas a little bit, just to drop it out of fourth gear and into third. And that's usually when I get the problem, or just when I'm accelerating from a stop. Even if I'm not being my usual characteristic lead foot, this just happens anytime you have your foot on the gas. Point being, traction control is disengaged for whatever reason, and the problem isn't presenting itself. So that's probably the biggest tax on the electronic board that is feeding all these different systems: electronic traction control, electronic steering. The 2004 Malibu had electronic steering too, and it was notorious, I believe, company-wide. I know both Worrell and I think Tomlinson, we all had trouble with the power steering, or electronic power steering, on our 2004 Malibus. The symptom expression was quite different. It was more like when it went out, it stayed out. But this just momentarily happens only when you have two systems running at once, like you're steering into a turn and you have your foot on the gas. Anyway, it's not doing it with traction control disengaged for the purposes of diagnosis.